On the show, we are talking with actor Dakota Shapiro of The Hunger Games, The Ballad of Songbirds and Snakes, the prequel to the iconic franchise Hunger Games, and of course, the books. This is huge. As if we didn't get enough the first time, we've got this film and hopefully more to come. Dakota, it's great to meet you. Thank you for your time and thanks for hanging out today.
Likewise, thanks for having me, man.
Well, this is a big deal to be a part of this franchise and to have any part of it, really, I think is massive. Let's start out with this. How does it feel as an actor to be a part of the franchise? Like it's big.
Yeah, man, it feels great. This was a book series that I grew up reading, so it definitely felt cool to be a part of something that like my family knows and my little sister loves, and something that I had a personal connection to as well. So it feels great. Something super
Yes.
neat.
Yes. And I do want to mention at the beginning of this that this interview is possible because of the SAG interim waiver. So I want our audience to know that. That's why we're able to discuss it and
Yeah.
to promote it. And that's really cool that you guys are able to do that, especially the fact it's such a big film. So you were familiar with the books prior to booking this role, then you said. So you're reading this and you are thinking about this as a storyteller as an actor. My question would be like, now that it's coming to life, you mentioned it feels great, but as an actor, this has to be validating to be a part of such an iconic franchise.
Totally. I mean, the cast is so stacked as well, so I really do feel honored to just be, in the presence of all these other great actors, and Francis Lawrence as well as an incredible director. So I felt like I was in great company the whole time. Yeah, I felt incredibly lucky. It's really validating anytime you get to um, work with people as peers that you have admired their work for so long. That's a really cool experience.
Now, I do remember seeing trailers for this like last year
Mm.
around the holidays, and it's been discussed and talked about for a while. How long ago did you wrap up production on this? How long has this been in the can, so to speak? For a while, I would imagine.
Yeah, it's been about a year. I think they finished right after I left, and I finished in um, September, I believe,
Okay.
last year. Uh, yeah, but they had already been working on it for like, a year. They've been just crunching it, and I talked to the lead, and I was amazed the amount of work that they're putting in for that. So he was in there every day for a year, and they really get close, everybody. So yeah, it was a lot of work put into that.
Yeah, so let's talk about that because where did this film again?
Um, in different parts of Europe, but I filmed my stuff part in Duisburg near Dusseldorf in Germany.
Okay.
My first time going. It's beautiful, and the beer is good.
Oh yeah, German beer is great. So that's a plus point for you on that for sure. So where does this story take place in particular in the franchise and in the series?
Oh, it's a prequel,
It's
and
a
it's
prequel,
kind of
yes.
the origin story of Coriolanus Snow, who's kind of the villain of the rest of the books, and it's like it's an interesting shift up because I read all the books, and this one was cool because it felt like it was getting into the idea of um, kind of totalitarian thinking and the way it develops, and I thought that was like a really interesting take on the series because the whole series, as you know, like has kind of um, a kind of political bent. It's like examining like
Yeah, for sure, for sure.
yeah authority and things like that. So it was cool kind of getting behind and getting into the thinking and how something like that develops. I thought that was a really interesting take on it.
Yes, no, I have not seen it yet. I've seen clips and trailers that have come out, and I'm really cautious to watch too much of it because
Yeah,
I
yeah.
know sometimes as a journalist and a critic, so to speak, it's just hard because you want to pass judgment on it. I know the previous films, as you mentioned, have had certain themes, whether it's a political bent
Mm.
or just the idea of family and sacrifice. But is there anything for you, Dakota, that stood out in particular that with your involvement? specifically that theme wise that you hope audiences, not to go too deep here, but to think about, something that's important to you as an actor?
That's a great question. I think the most interesting thing about it is the fact that we're following a character who is kind of pretty morally ambiguous. Like we're not sure how we feel about him for most of the time.
Yeah.
My character is a little bit more cut and dry. He's a little bit of a bad boy and he's a bit naughty, and so you're pretty clear about how you feel about him. But I tried to give him um, some reality and a little bit of a sympathetic edge as well. So, but yeah, I think definitely pay attention to the way that the main character's perspective develops. I think that's the most interesting part of it for me. Seeing how his beliefs get formed. And I think that it says a lot.
Yes, I cannot wait for this. I'm getting chills just talking with you about this
Oh
because
man,
I loved the films. I've introduced my child to the movies
that's
and
perfect.
read the books, and they were such good stories. I think they gave Lord of the Rings. You don't have to comment on this, obviously, but I will comment on it. Uh, you know, a run for their money. That's just my personal opinion. Now, at the end of the day, as a storyteller, you get to choose projects often, whether it's early on or later on in your career. But what was it about this specifically that attracted you to the story and maybe led you down the path to choose the audition or to choose the offer? Like, was there one thing in particular?
I definitely really related to the character. As soon as I read Billy Tope, I thought, you get auditions sometimes and you just go, okay, I know this guy. Like, this is definitely a perspective I understand. And so for me, that was like, it was an instant connection when I was reading the sides and getting a look at the character. And he's a kind of like Lucy Gray. They're both just survivors and they use
Yeah.
whatever tools they have at their disposal to, make some sort of life for themselves. And to me, I thought that there was something relatable to that, something understandable to that, even though he's not necessarily the best guy and he doesn't make the best choices. Like there's something in him that is, you know, trying to get his piece.
Yeah, I think that's a really good point to make. I think oftentimes we can myopically view characters as good, bad, evil, but it's maybe a case where it's none of that. They just exist. You know what I mean? And as an
Totally.
actor, your job is to just bring that character to life and fill it out. And oftentimes the audience decides instantly where you land in that world. And it could go either way. And I think that's what I like about these films, because you find yourself even rooting for the darkest parts of the story, specifically in the originals. But I think that's really cool. Now you get to work with some amazing people in this film. You've mentioned it. Was there any lessons or anything that you took from some of the people that you shared scenes with that you will carry on with you into the next part of your career or the next journey that you take as an actor?
For sure, man. I feel like every job I have, I'm always learning from the people around me. Like there's always something to learn from watching other people's performances. And man, there's so many great actors. I didn't get to work with some of the kind of bigger A-list ones, but like the young actors that I was working with kind of around my age, they were great. And I was learning a lot just from them, just from watching them. I every job that I finish, I feel like I've um, kind of hit a new level.
Sure.
And yeah, this was definitely no exception because there was just some great talent on there, and I learned a lot, honestly, just watching them.
Yes, well, the film is The Hunger Games, The Ballad of Songbirds and Snakes. Just the title alone is very fascinating. Now, as a storyteller, you've had different parts of your career. This is a big role for you, a big franchise. What is your favorite part of the craft of acting? Like, what do you enjoy the most?
It's a great question, man.
Thank you.
uh, it's hard to pick just one thing. I
Sure.
love the people. I love that it's a job that's always changing. Like I need just fresh experiences in my life to feel alive, and I think acting is one of those things that really kind of brings that. I think my favorite thing though is that it never lets you settle. Like anytime I think I've got a beat on anything, I realize I'm horribly wrong, and that's kind of it's terrifying, but it's an exciting feeling because there's always somewhere to go, and um, I enjoy that kind of catwalk of like trying to do something just on the edge of what I feel like I'm capable of doing. Like that's an exciting feeling, and I think I'm always trying to push for that.
Yeah, well, fantastic. This is so cool. Again, Dakota, congratulations on this.
Thanks so much.
And also to all the other actors who are on the lines and who are fighting for what's right and what's fair. I feel like we're getting closer and closer every day. And to the team that allowed us to talk about this, the waiver team that put this out there and allows us to discuss it and promote it. And of course, your wonderful PR team, who I love. They are the best.
Yeah,
Congratulations on all of your success, Dakota, and this great film releasing in theaters nationwide November 17th. Thank you so much, my friend, and congratulations.
thanks, Brett. Nice to meet you, brother.
Likewise. Thank you.